What's up, everyone? So, how to invest in real estate with small savings now, or even zero money. Now, I have $1 million worth of portfolio right now. I have four properties, not including my primary house. So,
This means you won't have to dip into your savings or wait to accumulate a large sum of cash before buying a home. Not only does this program eliminate the need for a down payment out of your pocket, but it has flexible terms to suit your financial situation.
How do you purchase real estate with no money?
Sub-2 or seller finance. Easy. Done. That's the end of the conversation.
Dive in.
Okay,
I
so-
know there's a bunch of people listening right now that don't understand that.
Okay, so let's
every single one of those properties, I did 20% down and I rented them out. I tried Airbnb, I tried every different method.
So you're looking to buy your first rental property this year and you probably don't know which way to go. You've got questions of whether you should go into multifamily, single family, a condo, maybe you should get into Airbnb. And even if you go that route, should you do short-term rentals or monthly term rentals? The list goes on. And so many people are confused about what is the best way to get their first rental property. In this
In a day, you don't need a lot of money to invest in properties. Now, some people tell you need to put at least 20%.
Do you need 20% down when you're buying a house? Well, we have all been told if you put less than 20%, you're going to have PMI, private mortgage insurance, and you're pretty much just giving your money away.
ridiculously stupid.
Down, but for financial security reason, yes, but does not mean you can't buy a house with no money or very little money. Real estate investing isn't just for millionaires, and most investors or most people who become millionaires or have became millionaires have properties, have multiple properties. All these stars do, some OnlyFans people do, like this lady right.
The money that I'm making between 100 and 130,000 pound a month. I don't need that. There's a lot of disposable income after.
You can see some of the properties for some stars like this one.
Today, we are doing the ultimate dream house tour. Now, hello babies, we have a visitor.
You have the power to do it. Now, some people like to do their rental or investment property all cash, and that's not for everyone. For me, I'm trying to convert to an all cash real estate portfolio to make my life easier and less stress, but it's not for everyone. So, let's talk about how to leverage the power of compound interest and how can you do it. Now, at the end of the day, there's a bunch of different things you can do to get it a investment property without no money. You can do purchase money mortgage and seller finance for one. If you don't have good credit, you can do that. You can do number two, invest in real estate through lease options. That's an option. Now, not all these options are great options to buy or sell, and you have to do your own due diligence on these items. You can do number three, hard money lenders. There's people that do that. 4, micro loans. 5, forming partnership to invest in real estate with little money. I see a lot of people do this. A lot of people get together. There's just pros and cons about all these. You know, you can do home equity loans. You can do trade houses. And number 8, special U.S. government schemes like USDA loans. So there's all these different programs you can use to get these houses. Now, it's up to you on how you find it. And this is where you need to understand the power of the internet. Now, first thing you have to do before you do all this stuff and try and get the loans, try to get these hard money things, try to get all these investment, you need to do the first thing is understand your financial situation. Assess your current saving and income, because don't forget you also need good credit for some of these line of credits. So if you don't have good credit, you don't have any savings, and you don't have an income, you need to fix that first before you can get into properties. Now, can you do it without one of these? Yes. You can do it without credit. You can do it without saving. Without an income would be hard, but you can do it. There's different ways you can do it. You can do partnership where you do all the labor and you don't have to put in money. Or you can do partnerships with other people that'll throw all the money, you find a deal, and you get a portion of the profit. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And it's how hard you want to hustle for your real estate deals. Now, let's talk about being realistic in your investment goal and timeline. If you have no money, you have no savings, you have bad credit, you're going to have to fix some of these things. And you're going to have to be realistic on how long it's going to take to fix these things. You can't say, I'm going to have one house every month, because that's not realistic. Realistically, you're going to have to say, hey, how much will I need for a down payment? What's the bare minimum? And this is where you have to start exploring with other real estate investors, because you need realistic investment goals and timeline. I can't tell you how much or how long it will take, because the average person to fix their credit is right here on the screen, and the average person to increase their income to acceptable 100,000, it could be any amount. But at the end of the day, we don't know until you figure out your own financial situation. Now, if you want to explore and strategize building savings such as budget, you might want to start a side hustle. That is what I did to get into my real estate. I started a small business on a side hustle. I used that money to buy real estate. Over every year, instead of taking the $100,000 I got from the business, I bought real estate and used it to make more money. Now, can everyone do that? Yes. You can all start a side hustle. Maybe it makes $1,000, maybe it makes $2,000 a month, and use that towards your real estate deal and using it to partner. Now that you understand your finance, and that's the very first step. If you don't understand your finance, you cannot buy, sell, or do anything in real estate, because everything costs money in real estate to do. Selling a property costs money, buying a property costs money, renting out property costs money, because there's fees, there's lawyers, there's different things you have to do. Maybe you want to do Airbnb. Well, putting stuff in Airbnb costs money, so make sure you understand all this. Now, once you understand your financial situation, now comes the fun part. Strategize an investment option for small savings or zero. So, the first one is rental property. Let's talk about rental property. Start with a small multifamily unit or even a single room. Let's say you want to start it. Well, you can start it by getting a smaller house, beginner house, that are way cheaper. You can buy properties. You can start with trailer homes. You can start with all these different things to get into it. But you have to look at your options. Now, even renting out a single room, that what is called house hacking, could save you money. So let's talk about house hacking. You live on a property while renting out the extra room to offset your cost. This is a strategy for investment that I tell people who don't have a family, as a single, and they can do this. I mean, I tried to house hack my business and it worked out pretty well. I needed the warehouse, but I had extra rooms and I rented out those rooms to bring in extra income. Now, I messed up on it because I didn't properly manage it, but at the end of the day, you can do this. You can buy a house with zero down, according to your benefits or XYZ, looking at your finance again, and then rent out a room to someone to help offset. This is what I told a few people do. I have a buddy of mine that's doing it right now. He bought his first house. He got his job. He's renting out 2 rooms, making $1,200 a month, and his mortgage is only $1,500. So he can put the extra money on this house to pay it off, or he can use it to put down on another house. It's all up to him, but I think he's going to use all that money to pay down that house to have a 100% paid off house, and that's not a bad investment strategy. So you can use this. It takes longer, but you will have a paid off house using this house hack. Now, if you have no partners, nothing like that, don't be afraid. You can invest in REITs. Gain passive by exploring into REITs, you can buy it by publicly traded companies, and they have usually high returns, and that's how you can get exposure to the real estate market if you don't have a lot of money. And you can do that with one penny, $100, by looking for these publicly traded companies. Here's one right here, and here's another one that they have pretty good returns. Now, I don't recommend buying it without doing your own due diligence, and that's not investment advice. Comment down below if you have any other companies that in the stock market that you believe in that's good as a REIT. Now, the next step is, once you figure out your investment strategy and what option you have, action steps to get started is your next thing you need to do. This is where you need to start networking with real estate professionals and investors. This is where you might have to spend some money, go to some shows. This is where you might have to do some things to talk to other people or call a bunch of real estate offices. I've done all this stuff to get into it. Now, what I do is I talk to one real estate agent and use all his network connection to join one, because I really don't want to do the other and just make my own network connection. I'd rather just have one and then use him as my agent and then use his network to help me in it. Now, you can do it all different ways, but this just makes it easier for me. Now, what I make sure you understand is develop a solid understanding of the local market that you want to be in. Now, this is where I saw someone do a side hustle where he'll pick up people in Airbnbs in some of these neighborhoods, and he'll focus in these neighborhoods, start talking to them about the neighborhood, start figuring out what's going on in the neighborhood, and it's like undercover boss. I gotta see him do it. It was crazy. He'll ask these questions, and he get answers on what neighbor does how this neighbor does, what the neighborhood look like in the next 5-10 years, and he gets the insider from the local person. Now, you can't do this by looking on the internet. He did it as a side hustle. He made almost no money on this, driving around for Uber Black for these people, dropping off at the airport, dropping off to these parties. But he got the insider information that a lot of people don't get and people pay for. And all he did was do it every Saturday, would drive around, figure out what's going on with these neighborhoods so he can invest into the best possible market. Now, another actionable step, utilize online resources and tools to research potential properties. I do this all the time. I'll look on properties online saying, hey, this is a good property. What can I do to expand it? What can I do to get this? What's the proper price point? What's the rent on this? And you can find that online. Now, you can do it by Ubering too, but online is just easier. Now, once you do all that, now it's time to start building your successful real estate portfolio. So prioritize tenant relationship and property management. This is where I screwed up the first time. Now I try to build a proper relationship with my property, and I make sure everything's fixed right. I make sure I do my due diligence, drive around, look at the properties every once in a while. And these are the things you have to do if you want a successful real estate portfolio. Now, you also have to understand, continue educating yourself and stay informed about the market. You can't sit out. You have to stay informed. It could be a side hustle, but you have to pay attention. What are houses selling for? Is it doing better? Is it doing worse? Is the market price going up? And this is where that continued education and going to these events will help you. Now, you can do what I did. I see professional guidance the whole time, such as financial advisor, property managers, and real estate agents. They're every day looking at all this stuff. So I use this to get the best deals, find people to fix my appliances, fix the houses, do the painting. And this is where your network is helping. So whenever you build your start buying houses, you're going to need these assistants. And once you have all that, you should be to go. So in conclusion, if you want to do real estate investing with small money, there's a bunch of different loan options you can do. But to do that loan options, you're gonna have to look at your finance. And then once you find out what your finance can afford, you need to start strategizing what you want to go into. Because you can't just say, I want to do all of them. You have to pick a niche and stick with it and build your portfolio that way. And then once you get that niche you want, you need to do actionable steps to get into those areas. And that's where you start networking, start building money, start building a solid foundation on the local market you want to be in, and start using proper research tools. And then the last step is start buying and building your relationship with your tenant and property manager, and using this information to continue your education and seeking professional guidance. And that's all I got for you. Like, subscribe to my video.